Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. Maybe I'll have a chance to put more effort into these. I'm not going to mix it in any way, so again, one take, and I'll get through as much as I can. The subject is trimming outdoors. I've always wanted to do some kind of header design and some research. I couldn't find a single picture of anybody using regular door casing, but I don't really care. I'm going to do it. I think it's going to go well with the kitchen and kind of tie everything together. The hood has a nice space like this. And here's the cabinet crown, if you will. Not really crown, but upper trim. And decided to match perfectly that detail. What I was actually able to do is recycle some material. Guys, when you're routing, material used will make all the difference in the world. I was able to rip these off that last inch. So this last inch and 5/16. What I didn't get on this note was the thicknesses. So you're gonna have to just, here's what matters. I'm gonna pause on this. These are your dimensions. This will save you a bunch of time. I did use my planer here, admittedly, to plane down some 3/4 stock to 1/2 inch. Other guys, I did see a guy mention using 7/16 for the lower. I think that's the Frieze. I should have reviewed it. I could tell you the name of all those fancy parts. But 1/2 inch, 2 1/4, and a 3/4 top cap nets you 3 1/2 inches, which is exactly what I needed for my application anyway. I've got dimensions on here. I've drawn the reveal, assumed a 1/4 inch. This bottom piece is pretty deep, so I think that having a slightly larger reveal, because usually I'm shooting for like a 32nd under a 1/4 inch for a reveal, but it keeps the math simple. This is the math for the lengths. So if you assume a 36-inch door, there's your casing. There is, the corner, the reveal, the casing, and then X. X being one of these numbers for your overhang. That dashed line is meant to show the edge of the casing. Multiplied by 2 gives you this Y column. Okay, and I've done the math for you. You can check it, but these are what I actually cut. It seems to be working beautifully. But yeah, 2X, this should say plus Y. And so for A, but these are inverted. I redrew it in the order that they are from the top down, okay? So these are the dimensions that you would need to cut the full length. What I didn't want to do was cut a bunch of little tiny returns. You know, any carpenters know you can just run this long and miter a 45, and you won't have to do these dangerous ends, because when you're coming with a router, and you can see how rudimentary my setup here is, fellas. That, I'll grab a shorter. Anyway, it's doing these ends. And I'm going to touch on that. It was the one little, I guess, trick of the trade maybe I've learned through the years. I'm certainly no pro at this. But I want to use this one because it's more dramatic. I took 3 passes to get this detail. Now this was the nice cherry I was able to rip. So I used my best material for this most delicate thing. You can see the original cabinet shop used cherry in a lot of their trim. I cut this off of a valance that I wasn't going to use. So that's where I salvaged my beautiful cherry from that mills so nicely because it's got no knots. All right. Still 3 passes. Keeps your bit a little cooler. It definitely reduces your blowout. The one thing I wanted to tell you is, look, this is the little trick of the trade. And it's nipping this corner before you make your pass. Okay, so you always want to go against the grain of the bit. But what happens is when you get to the end, that just wants to tear out really, really badly. So if you load your bit, load it, just tap this in, take some practice. I've got 3 scraps in here in case I butchered something or had a bad blowout that I could maybe splice something. It would also let me warm up, test all my work. So, and always when you're doing some kind of milling like this, if you've got spare material, mill yourself an extra piece because inevitably something's going to tear out, or and it's good to have a backup, maybe one that's not cut to length or not. But anyhow, look, you just got to load in this front tip not real slow. Routers get hot fast, but load in there and then just touch. Now, what's going to want to grab is shoot it out of your hand. So you want to hang on to it really tight. You touch the end, and then you come over here and you finish it off. And because the end has already been taken out, it doesn't blow out. It's much, much stronger. So out of all of these, I did not have one of these headers. There's 9 of them here, okay? I didn't have one of them blow out at the end because I took that time. I had a rhythm. I do the end, then I would do the end, you know, do that little touch, and then come back to this side, and I just rotate it. I did each one. I would do the ends first, and then run the length, okay? And then this one doesn't, and you know, it went well. Now that's in part because I had great material. Dang, 6 minutes. I don't like videos like this. I'm touching on 2 different topics, so you got to forgive me. And on this bottom detail, just you'll probably, I think you probably saw it in the other one. Maybe I'll zoom back in over there. That's what I came up with. Okay, this was an 1/8 inch round over, by the way. So you would want to know that was an 1/8 inch, and this is a 5/32. This is a 5/32 Roman OG, guys. I went with something a little bit simpler than the extra detail because I wanted to match the kitchen. I was going to do something else. Again, if you want to see the depths on those, and then one last thing is detail down. Look, I worked in a cabinet shop real early. Detail down was what the owner always told me. You can spin this the other way. That is, in some ways, you know, it gives you more of a softer curve in there. However, the other disadvantage is that it gives you more exposure on the edges of your trim, which were already pretty thick on the bottom. So I just went detail down, and I think it's going to look great. 6:40. That's the longest video I ever did. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Hey, a comment, anything. Take care.